Hello, class. So happy to see you. Are you ready for Module 1? Outstanding. Let's get started. Once you click on Module 1, this is the page that you'll see. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to fill out the information right here on your Word document. And you'll see in places where there are beige boxes, that's your opportunity to respond here within the document. Now, there may be some other places that I'll direct you to when we go out here to the discussions. That's where you're sharing with the rest of the class. But for much of this course, the reflections, the responses that I'm looking for from you will be written directly on this sheet, and then you will post this to assignments. And because this is Module 1, you'll post this assignment that you've saved as Module 1. Okay, well, let's take a look at what's happening here. This is the video that hopefully you've already clicked on. You've got it, and you click there. This is the overview video. It's also the lecture. It's also the presentation that I'm going to be talking about for the Chapter 1 of the text. Please do put your name here. It helps me when I'm grading lots of assignments, keep track of who is which one. I know we can look it up, but it can start to get messy too. So help me with the grading process and do put your name there. If you have not already, please click on the Welcome Blackboard Navigation and Syllabus Overview web here. Click on that and it should take you right to the video. Please let me know. If you've seen it, very good. You've done with Section 1. Section 2, what I would like you to do is I would like you to make an introduction of yourself. And this will help the class understand better where you're coming from. Are you middle level? Are you secondary? English, math, science, social studies? Which one are you coming from? Which area? So we can connect and we can better understand where each other is coming from. I've done 2 different ones. Yes, I like PowerPoint, but there are also some really good other types of presentation software that's out there too. Comic strips, there is the video slideshows, a few others here, Glogster, Powtoons. So there's all kinds of different ones that you can choose from to give you a introduction. But the introduction should be, and I've got some things here, the introduction should be your name, where you call home, where your educational background is, include your high school, and where you're at in college, like you'll be a junior in college, hobbies and activities, your teaching experience. This could be like a summer camp. This could be volunteer work. This could already be where you're doing your clinicals, your goals that you would like to see happen for this class. And I would also like you to publish this on Blackboard. And in Blackboard, if you go to discussions and you go here to the very first one, well, it's going to take us there. I did press it. Let's press it again. There we go. See where it says introductions, just click on that and you will see my introductions here. Dr. Bradley introduction. And you're certainly welcome to use either of my introductions as a template or a model for your own introductions. So here is the Prezi introduction, and it's a web page, and you can just open up that web page. You can review who I am, where I'm from, and what I like to do. So this is the Prezi. The Prezi is loading up. These introductions are valuable, yes, for each other. I talked about that, but they're also an effective way for you to introduce yourself to your students when you are in your clinical environment. It takes 2 minutes at the beginning of your 4 lesson presentations, and then bam, they know who you are. They know that there is a connection that they can make. They can see where you're coming from, and it helps take away that stigma that, oh, you're just somebody that's coming in, going to do your thing and leave. You're like, no, I'm committed. I want to see you succeed for these lessons that I'm here. I want to learn, and I want you to learn as well. So consider using this introduction as a way to reach your students in your clinical and, of course, as you do your supervised teaching, your pre-service teaching. All right, well, here I am. This is Dr. Bradley. And welcome to this class. That's my office and phone number there. I grew up in Fletcher, North Carolina, and I'm going to zip right through these. You can take your time and read through these if you like. That's the Biltmore House, and that's where I proposed to my wife 25 years ago yesterday. Crazy. Let's see. My wife, Stella, my children, Allison and Zachary, they are in high school. One is a freshman and one is a junior. Things we like to do. We like to travel where we can. It's usually just kind of in North and South Carolina. And we like to hike as well. My favorite science teachers were Dr. Kuhlman and Dr. Hefferlin because they were able to explain complex physical phenomenon in a way that made things simple. And that's what I like to see us as teachers do. Take those things that are hard, make them simple for students. We are the bridge. My education, my undergraduate is at Southern Adventist University in Collegedale, Tennessee. It's near Chattanooga, Tennessee. My PhD, sorry, getting ahead of myself, my master's degree is in mathematics education from Western Carolina University, and my PhD in curriculum and instruction is from Andrews University. It's just a few miles east of Chicago. I've got 20 years in middle grades and secondary math and science, and this is I've completed my 6th year here in I need to update my slide. It's no longer 5, it's 6, in higher education, and I've enjoyed all of the teaching experiences. They're all very different, but I've enjoyed working in these different levels. You can look at the things that we're going to be doing to make this class fun. We're going to be learning by doing. Knowledge is power and synergy. We're going to work with each other so that we can learn from each other, because that's where a lot of our positive things are going to come from. We get ideas from each other. We can learn from each other, and that's that cool synergy that I'm looking forward to. It's more challenging on a environment that's virtual, but we can still do it. We can still be effective. Okay, well, that's my introduction, and you can make your introduction so that it fits those criteria, and I am looking forward to your introductions. Okay, and that is section 2, make an introduction. Yes, do post it on Blackboard. Post that on Blackboard in the introduction sections, and I will grade it from there. You don't need to post it here on the module. Okay, so next, the social context of adolescence. The book, The Adolescent, is this book right here, but I've included chapter 1 in case you're having trouble getting the book. You haven't gotten it yet. I don't want you to get behind, so I did include chapter 1 of the text. So if you click on right here in section 3, if you click on this text right here, it will take you and give you a copy of the text of chapter 1. Okay, read chapter 1. That's section 3. Read through it. Very interesting stuff. So let's take a look. I want to talk about chapter 1 too. So let me take a look. Let me have us take a look at the summary that I've put together for some of what I think are some of the important things. Of course, there's tons of important things, but a few things that I want to highlight about this. Okay, what is adolescence? What is puberty? What is a juvenile? Okay, well, we define that in terms of physical maturity, the legal status as an adult, or the attainment of the financial and emotional independence. Of course, there is an emotional independence. You're moving from children, looking for care from adults, to adults / your parents, to taking care of yourself. That's everything from making your bed, being able to drive, being able to make your own food, being able to make your way on your own. That is moving from the childhood to adolescence, and that takes some time to figure out. We don't give driver's licenses to 11-year-olds. My son is 14, and I'm just terrified that he's going to be driving soon because he just wants to see how fast the car will go. Daddy, will this car do 90? I don't know. I've never had it to 90. I'm not sure that it will, but I'm pretty sure it's not safe, and it is against the law. There is 3 periods of adolescence. It is the early adolescence, 11 to 14, the middle, where we talk about middle school a lot, and the late adolescent periods, 18, 19, 20. And those can even slip into 21, 22, 23. Okay, this is a question that I've put in here, and it's also part of your reflection. Each one of us had to go through a period of adolescence. And so as we go through this text, as we go through the chapter, even through the whole semester, be thinking about the times that you were in an adolescent, because that will give you a good foundation to recall what your students may be going through. And not all these memories may be pleasant or wonderful. So I'm asking that here you take a few minutes. Think of a time that you were uncomfortable as an adolescent. Think of a time where you were, where I am. It's an embarrassing moment for me as an adolescent. Think about that, and that will be part of your reflection. Again, as we study these adolescents, we're looking at the social cultural. This is one way to look at it. Where do you fit in as far as your ethnicity? Are you an immigrant, socioeconomic? That will play a part in your experience as an adolescent. Biological, puberty. That's an interesting thing that happens to us all. The nutritional needs, these are all biological things. One of the things that I learned from this textbook, I guess you knew, but I had forgotten or needed to be reminded. The word puberty means to grow hair. So, hey, can't make this stuff up, but it's not an inaccurate representation of what's happening as we go through the sexual maturation process. Psychosexual, emotions, your sense of self, and of course, social relationships. Those change a lot too as we become adults from children. And there is an eclectic approach to hey, let's pull in the pieces that we find valuable from each one of these, from the nature, from the biology, from the nurture, from where we're growing, from our backgrounds, where we're from, where our ethnicity is, our socioeconomic status. All those things pull together. We pull together what parts we want, and we have an eclectic, interdisciplinary approach. Okay, take a look where the adolescents are today, and I'm interpreting this graph. I'm interpreting this to be a graph that is either change, or it's a graph that talks about how many adolescents are here. We can see that we've got quite a few adolescents in our state. Now, what are the issues that face our students? Well, of course, gender equality is the one that comes up first and foremost. Do boys and girls get the same educational experience from us as teachers? They should. And that's my first big diversity platform. You need to treat all your students the same. Male, female, whatever their ethnicity is, whatever their religious background is, whatever they're coming from, these are kids and they deserve your best. So I hope that you're able to maybe take a look beyond the color of their skin, their gender, wherever they're coming from, and look at the student themselves and give each student your very best. Okay, yes, access to education, universal health care service, sexual reproductive health care, all these things are important issues that are facing our adolescents. Okay, how has adolescence changed in the last century? Well, there's a lot of things that have changed course, adolescents, I'll get it right, tend to stay in school longer. They are more financially dependent on your parents for a longer period of time, and we can blame the economy. We can blame a lot of things. They move out of their parents' homes later. They marry later. So why is there this delay? Well, jobs are harder to come by. We had an economic depression in 2008, and we're still kind of working our way out of that. Is there other factors? Well, there might be. There are the changes in internet, social media, and the cell phone. I think one of the single biggest changes that I've seen in education over the past 5 years even is the prominence of these little devices right here. They're so powerful, they can do so much, and they connect us so easily with each other. It's really changed the dynamic that we as teachers work with students on. Students are, I'm going to call it hyper-connective now. All you need to do is click on there. You can Snapchat, you can Instagram, you can, all the new things that my kids do, the services they use. I'm not even sure of and I'm talking social media. I don't know. I don't even get on Facebook that often. And my kids laugh, Daddy, nobody uses Facebook. And I said, well, turns out you're right. I don't even use it that much. But these students are very connected, and it's changing the way that we integrate, the way that we work with our kids. Graduation rates, you can see how these have changed, and this is a picture in your textbook, and I'll let you look through that, but take a look at those. I think you'll see some interesting trends as the years go by, and as nationalities and as genders as well. Okay, yeah. We talked about that. All right, let's talk about correlation versus causation. Correlation is simply saying, there we are. There is a relationship between those. Now, that relationship can be positive or negative. A positive correlation might be the more time that I work, the more money that I make. So they're both positive. A negative correlation would be the more time that I spend in the mall, the less money that I end up walking away with. So that would be a negative correlation. There is, anytime you have a positive or a negative correlation, it's very interesting because then we can start to make predictions about what is causing these things and what we can do to address these things. Now, correlation does not imply causation. An interesting graphic here is the number of people who drowned by falling into a swimming pool and the number of movies that Nicolas Cage appeared in. There's a positive correlation there, but is it causation? I don't think so. I don't think the number of movies that Nicolas Cage appears in has any way related to the number of drowning deaths. Same thing as here. The number of autism cases and the number of food sales here is a positive correlation. Are they related? Probably not. But is there a correlation? Yes. So there's something to think about, but we need to be aware. We need to use our minds and just say, I'm not sure that there's a connection here. Last thing, true versus quasi-experiments. A true experiment, randomly selected groups, a control group, a treatment group, and you're just testing one factor at a time. A quasi is a pre-existing group, as if you're looking for an age, you're looking for a gender. These are groups that are already pre-selected. You are not pulling these out randomly. They're already there, but you want to look at those groups. There is a lot of good information that can be gathered in from a true experiment. True experiment is stronger than a quasi-experiment, but a quasi-experiment, we can still gather lots of good information. Okay, that's a quick summary of the things that I thought was interesting in this chapter. Oh, I wanted to talk about one other thing, class. Sorry. Let me slip back right to here. Yes. More challenges that impact adolescents. One other thing that I'm seeing is a big impact of adolescence is violent crimes, terrorism. It's in the news all the time. It's one place or another, and students are very aware of this. We're post-Columbine. We're post-9/11. Students that come to school with a knife, used to be in the 1980s, the teacher would say, quit playing with that in class, put it in your backpack, and nobody would ever think about it. Now you have a knife in class, and it's like, like, you could be arrested for this. It's altogether different. So we have to be very, very careful how we talk to students about violence. It is something that is prevalent in our society, and we have to be very careful about how we address this with our students. So I would say this hyper awareness of a society where violence may be a common occurrence. Now, the good news is we're still fairly rural. I'm going to call us fairly rural when you compare us with against something like Pittsburgh, Chicago, Philadelphia, the more urbanized areas. But the good news is we worry about that less, but it's still something that we need to be aware of and to address carefully with our students. Okay, well, let's finish this thing up. You have just finished section 3. You watched my summary. You have read the chapter. Go into section 4. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to reflect on the material in 6 to 8 sentences. You do not need to answer any of all 5 of these guiding questions, but I would like you to pick at least 2 or more. And then I would like you to put your answer in 6 to 8 sentences in this beige box here. And I will evaluate that and give you feedback on it. Okay, that's section number 4. You're giving me a reflection on the content that we've just covered. Section 5. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to go ahead and start working on our case study. Our case study, and you can read all about it. It's right here in, what if I press that button? Ah, yes, very good. Case study is right here in our assignment details, if you want to know more about it. Assignment details, case study information. Take a look at that, but you are going to be selecting one child, adolescent, between the ages of 8 and 18. 11 is fine, between ages 8 and 18. And you are going to use that as that child as a case study. You're going to interview them for 45 minutes. There's going to be a set of questions that you're going to ask them, and you're going to ask their parents or guardians. So what I would like you to do in section 5 is I would like you to go ahead and be thinking about an individual for a potential candidate for your field study. So be thinking, I've got 1, 2, 3, how many ever that you feel that you have. With these parents, and I should say parents/guardians, put that in there for me. Would the parents, guardians be open to me to using their child in my case study? And how am I going to do? What am I going to do to ensure that the data I keep is confidential? So you want to be able to assure this parent that no one else is going to be able to connect the data that you're collecting with their child. Everything will be completely anonymous. You're not recording their name. I do not want to go back and find out who this is that you're interviewing, but I do want to know that you did do that interview process. And how will I communicate this to my parents? How will I tell them that their child's privacy will be kept completely confidential? You are writing a report for a class, but you are not connecting a name. So nowhere should be saying to your parents, nowhere will I be putting your child's name. There's no way to trace this information that I collect about your child back to your child. That's not the purpose of this course. What the purpose of this course is to have you observe the adolescent behavior. So go ahead and think about your answers to these questions. If you think you may not be able to find somebody to find as a candidate, and remember, a candidate is anyone who is not part of your immediate family. Cousins are fine, siblings, somebody at your church, somebody at your school group, somebody's friend, any of that is fine. Think about who that child may be, ages 8 to 18. Be thinking about contacting their parents and thinking about the 45-minute interview with the child and the parent so you can write your essay reflection on this child. So that's it. That's the show. When you're done, please post those, post this, save it, post it over here to assignments, and we just completed Module 1. So here, post it as Module 1, and I will be evaluating that. And I'm looking forward to this assignment. I'm looking forward to you completing this. And let's just take a quick look here. Should have pulled this up just a little bit sooner. Yes, let's pull up the syllabus to make sure that we have the due date for this correct. So the syllabus is right here. There it is. And the syllabus due date for each one of these modules is right at the bottom of the syllabus. Pulling that up now. It always takes a little bit longer than you think, doesn't it? And it is right here at the bottom. There we are. We started July 5 and it's due July 9 at 11:59. So anytime July 9, you are great, in good shape. Turn that in and you will be all set for Module 1. If you have any questions, please call me, 864-503-5570. Or email me, gbradley, gbradley, at uscupstate.edu. I'm looking forward to your work, and contact me if you have any questions. Hope to talk with you soon. Goodbye.